You're tuning to Relationship Wednesday, where we expose the lies, set fire to the bullshit, and show you what real love should actually feel like. This is the Bad Influence Podcast, the podcast they warn you about. I'm your host, Jordan Banderas, and today we're going through manipulation, codependency, and toxic patterns with a machete. If you're tired of walking on eggshells in your relationship, it ends now. Raw truth. Real growth. Let's get into it. So today, this is for both men and women, because I see this happening a lot. You guys think that unconditional love means unconditional tolerance. But let's make one thing clear right now. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance. Because somewhere along the way, you started believing that to love someone deeply, you had to destroy yourself quietly. You thought devotion meant swallowing disrespect. You thought forgiveness meant staying to humiliation. But real love doesn't demand your suffering. No, it doesn't. Let me be very clear about that. It requires your self-respect. Think about it. Just think about it. Because you can love someone to their core and still say, this isn't love anymore. No, it isn't. It's not love. You can walk away without hating them. You can set a boundary without losing your heart. Because love without limits isn't divine. It's self-destruction dressed as loyalty. And loyalty without respect isn't love. No, it is not. It's submission in disguise. Let's be honest. And by the way, be honest right now with yourself. How many times have you called pain patience? You told yourself love was about sacrifice, but what you really meant was silence. You convinced yourself endurance was noble, when it was really just numbness. You stopped expressing your needs because you were too terrified of being too much. It's true, it happens. I've seen it happening. It has happened with me and to me. You started walking on eggshells, calling it compassion. You started lowering your standards, calling it understanding. You started accepting apologies without change, calling it faith. But that's not love. That's self-abandonment. And if your love keeps killing your peace, it's not sacred. It is not. It's toxic. So think back. Who taught you that real love meant never saying no? Who did that for you? Who gave you that bullshit? Maybe it was your parents, one who stayed too long, one who left too quietly. Maybe you watched them confuse love with endurance. They taught you that survival equals strength. But strength isn't staying in pain. It's knowing when to stop calling it love. You remember the first time your boundaries cracked. You said yes when every cell in your body screamed no. You bit your tongue to keep the peace. You smiled while your soul bled. And every time you stay silent, a little more of you disappear. Let's be honest. That's exactly what happens. You told yourself, I'm being patient. But patience without reciprocity isn't peace. It's punishment. You kept hoping they'd change, thinking love will fix them, right? How many of you have done that or thought that way? Well, here's the thing. Love doesn't heal people who refuse to face themselves. You can't save someone who mistakes your forgiveness for permission. Think about that. Just think about that. And right now, I'm going to drop a hard truth on you. Your pain didn't come from loving too much. It came from loving without boundaries. You wanted to be their safe place so badly that you forgot to be your own. You became their cushion, their crutch, their emotional rehab. But while they were healing, guess what was happening to you? You were breaking. Every time you accepted their chaos, you told your peace it didn't matter. Yes, you did. That's exactly what happens. Every time you overlooked their disrespect, you taught them exactly how to treat you. Love doesn't demand your silence. It demands your truth. And that's a fact. Because silence might keep them, but it will cost you. And that's a debt no heart can afford. You think leaving means you stop loving, right? Yeah, you think that leaving them means you stop loving them. But leaving doesn't mean you quit. It means you learn. You learn that real love doesn't thrive in chaos. It grows in clarity. And clarity always demands courage. Sometimes love's final act is self-preservation. It is so true. That's love's final act. And that's something that a lot of you have to learn. And I know that a lot of you have to learn that because guess what? I had to learn that as well. Here's the hard pill to swallow. Unconditional love, it starts with loving yourself unconditionally first. Because when you remove yourself from the equation, it stops being love. It becomes servitude. You're not meant to be a martyr for someone else's growth. You're meant to be a mirror that reflects their potential without losing your reflection in the process. You can't save someone who keeps setting you on fire just to stay warm. And that's a fact. Because love isn't sacrifice. It's synergy. It's not I lose me to keep you. It's we rise together or not at all. And I know a lot of guys don't like that. But guess what? That's how a relationship should be. That's how my relationship is. And I've been married for 11 years. And you also have to understand that about everything that me and my wife have gone through. And we survived the storm. And I see a lot of couples right now literally not being able to survive any freaking storm. And literally one of them loving unconditionally, but also dying on the inside. And one of the things that I tell people, and some people don't like it, but I don't care. I tell people that love that requires your destruction to survive isn't romantic. It's parasitic. And parasites don't need your forgiveness. No, they don't. They need your distance. So, what if love stopped being about endurance and started being about elevation? You're not supposed to survive love. No, you're not. You're supposed to evolve in it. Love that drains you isn't growth, it's gravity. And gravity only feels safe to those afraid to fly. You were not built to shrink for connection. You were built to expand through it. So ask yourself this right now. Ready? What would it look like to love someone and still protect your peace fiercely? That's a good question. Let me give you my answer. It will look like clarity over chaos. It will sound like I love you, but I won't lose myself for you. It will feel like respect wrapped in empathy. Real love is accountability, not avoidance. It's truth, not tolerance. It doesn't humiliate. It heals. And healing sometimes looks like closing the chapter, not rereading it, because closure isn't weakness, it's wisdom. Just think about it. So, what boundary do you need to set today? Let me give you my answer. The one that says, my peace matters. That's the boundary that you need to set today. The one that says, I won't confuse loyalty with losing myself. The one that reminds you, you were never hard to love. You were just loving the wrong way. That's the boundary that sets you free. It truly does. Now, can you love someone enough to stop enabling their destruction? Because that's real love too. The kind that says, I won't be your excuse anymore. Love them enough to face their own reflection. Love yourself enough to stop rescuing them from the lessons life is trying to teach. Because you can't be their healer while bleeding from their wounds. You owe yourself a version of love that doesn't ask for your sanity as payment. One that feeds your peace instead of pain. One that requires effort, not endurance. That's not too much to ask for. It's the bare minimum of self-worth. And you'll never find it until you stop settling for less than you give. It is true. Now, there was a time I thought that's exactly what love was supposed to look like. I thought being a good partner meant putting up with everything. I thought real love meant staying no matter what. Through the yelling, through the disrespect, through the manipulation, and through the games. I told myself, this is what commitment looks like. But what I really meant was, this is what fear feels like. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being enough. Fear of losing someone who already wasn't choosing me. I let people walk all over me because I thought that's what love required. I thought forgiveness was the cure for pain. I thought if I gave a little more, tolerated a little longer, they'd finally see how much I cared. But they didn't. No, they didn't. That's why they're not with me and I met my wife. Because they didn't care. They didn't love me the way that I was supposed to be loved because I didn't even know what love meant to me. Because every time I stayed silent, I taught them that silence was approval. Every time I let them disrespect me, I told them it was okay to keep doing it. And the truth? It wasn't love that kept me there. No, it wasn't. It was the lack of it. Then I met my wife. And she flipped everything I thought I knew about love. She didn't let me run from myself. She didn't need me to save her. She needed me to show up honest, grounded, and willing to grow. And for the first time in a really long time, I realized love wasn't supposed to hurt. It wasn't supposed to drain you, silence you, or make you question your worth. It was supposed to heal you, challenge you, and call you higher. She showed me that real love has boundaries, that no can be just as loving as yes. That sometimes the most loving thing you can do for them and for yourself is stop letting them cross lines that were never meant to. Because love without boundaries isn't love. It's fear pretending to be devotion. And when I finally drew the line, I didn't lose love. I found it. So here's the thing. And this is why I want you to understand. This is why I want to talk about this. Unconditional love doesn't mean unconditional suffering. It doesn't mean you accept disrespect because your heart is soft. It doesn't mean you let them tear you apart and call it loyalty. It means you know how to love deeply without losing your dignity. It means your love has depth, but also direction. Because real love gives. It doesn't drain. It heals. It doesn't humiliate. It holds space, but it also holds standards. It builds you, not breaks you. And when you learn that balance, you want to know what happens when you learn that balance? You stop chasing love that costs your peace. You stop proving your worth through pain. You stop mistaking chaos for chemistry. You stop calling toxicity commitment. You finally understand love isn't supposed to hurt this much. Because love that hurts you more than it heals you isn't love. No, it is not. You want to know what that is? It's a lesson. And you have to remember this. The choice at the end of the day is yours. And that's it for today. If this episode peeled back the mask on your relationship, don't ignore it. You deserve more than crumbs. Draw the damn line. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss the truth bombs that actually change lives. Share this with someone who needs to wake up to real love, not manipulation. This is the Bad Influence Podcast. Until next time, know your worth. Speak your truth. Never flinch. And have a great day.